Have you seen this man playing peekaboo with everybody here? Here we go. Yeah, I'm talking about this guy right here. This is Tom Ginn, our guest tonight. Very excited to have him. He is with Life Empowered Institute. Um, he's going to talk to us about G-Force. Every Friday, he's going to start this particular platform at 1 p.m. He's also going to talk to you about elevating your profits through mindset to profitability. This guy is a Dave Ramsey financial certified coach, John Maxwell certified coach, and on top of that, a Bob Proctor, disciple of the Proctor Gallagher certified coach, dealing with mindset. So tonight we're going to get into, from Tom himself, he's going to talk to us about, mindset, how you get there, revenue streams. And, he's really an educated person when it comes to all this. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on the man himself. This is Tom Ginn. There he is.
Wow, this is awesome. Hey, Mark, thanks a lot. This is really an exciting thing to do for you. I just want to, it's an honor to be here, and how we've met, I'll cover that here in a moment. So
Sure.
But, I'm excited to be here today and support you. And hopefully tonight, in this next 20 or so minutes, I hope I bring some value to those that are listening so that they can have a snippet or something that can improve their life.
I always have to, I have watched him once, Mark, and howdy.
Hey, Robert.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for being here. And really want this to be an engaging process. Larry, he's saying hi to you back. Excellent, Robert. And with that, when I say that, Tom, I'm going to ask some questions. And well, thank you, Robert. Man, the guy just keeps coming and coming and coming. He's like the energized bunny, man. He doesn't stop. That's what I love about Robert. Deep thinker. But what I want this to be really, Tom, is I'm going to ask some questions, but I hope people join in. If you have other questions, please, because this is something near and dear to my heart, finances. I could write a book to the highs and lows of where I've been and where I would like to be and all that other fun stuff. But with that, can you share with us, Tom, what is Life Empowered Institute? What's that all about, and how did it start?
Well, it really started, Mark. That's one of the companies I work with in helping people improve their lives. Life Empowered Institute is my coaching business, and within coaching, I do financial coaching. When I talk about financial coaching, I'm not talking about numbers. I'm talking about behavior before numbers. Mm-hmm. I'm a personal development coach. I help people better understand, the results we get in life are directly related to our internal belief systems, our subconscious thinking. So I help people better understand how to form better thinking processes to get different results. And so my wife and I formed Life Empowered Institute.
That's great. That is tremendous. And I'm just curious, like, what made you get into coaching? Like, how did you, did you one day say, hey, when you were a kid growing up, man, hey, I want to be a coach? Is that how it all happened? Or was it through a process, a journey, that you took and said, hey, I can do this. I'm good at this.
Well, when we're children, we all have dreams. I had a dream of being a coach, but it was a football coach. And when you get to know my story, if anybody goes to my website, they can see my story, how I got to where I'm at. But I think everybody's a coach one way or another. But what really got me into the coaching was my background's financial service. I had nearly 20 years within the financial service industry. I had my own agency in California. Right. I'm here in the beautiful state of Wisconsin now, in a city called Oconomowoc. It's the only city in the United States that has 5 O's in it. So if you need to put anything to me like a check or something, you don't have to worry about spelling it. You just put 53066. So I have a little fun with the name of the city I'm in. But no, as I was moving through life, my wife and I are entrepreneurs. We have multiple businesses. Right. And one of the things I wanted to get back into is in the area of financial services, but not in the traditional sense of products and services. I recognize people are hurting today financially. uh, worse than ever before. And so I wanted to, help people better understand how to win. And it has nothing to do with the knowledge. 20% in anything in life is knowledge. 80% is behavior. So
Right.
when I started, I wanted to get into financial coaching. I'd been a prodigy and a follower of Dave Ramsey for nearly 25 years. And I made that decision. I believe in his principles, and I became a certified coach, went to Tennessee, got certified, started coaching people. And what I noticed was it was the behavior that was dictating the results. And so
Okay.
I thought this, how can I help my clients become better and get better results? It's not knowledge. We all know
Right.
you spend less than you make, right? Stay out of debt,
Right.
those type of things. But why are people struggling? It's behavior. So I sought out, how can I help my clients? And I became associated with the Proctor Gallagher Institute, Bob Proctor. So that's how I got into this. And it made a totally difference in my financial coaching. And my passion is to help people get to a different level through thinking.
Tremendous. And let me ask you this then. It's called 180-degree financial coaching. Now, is that another subsidiary of your main organization here, or is this just something that continues through the process?
It runs parallel forever. If somebody has a need around financial coaching, that's the brand that I do.
Okay.
But I still use the same principles, behavior before numbers. Let's take a look at the outcome that you seek, and I'll talk about that a little bit here in a moment. But yeah, so it's one of the, my niches. One is financial coaching. It's behavior before numbers.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's a great point, Tom, and that leads me into my next segue here. So, what does it take? What type of mindset do you have to be? And you talk about behaviors. So you're talking about money. And I know Jim Rohn, the late great Jim Rohn, said that your philosophy determines your outcomes or your finances. And some people don't agree with that. They'll say the economy does, particularly now with what's going on with COVID. So what changes have you seen now? We've gone through this albatross called COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. And, I'm sure you see a lot of, I don't want to say excuses, but people are kind of holding back. They're afraid to do something financially. Do you encounter that when you deal with people day in and day out?
Mark, not just in this COVID area, it just sort of, what I would say, it's put more of a spotlight on it. It's always the same issues why people are struggling. COVID, put through a bunch of stuff that people weren't prepared for. And that's what I help people better understand is what's your game plan in life? What's your plan B? I'm a big proponent of multiple streams of income. If you're living on just one source of income and a COVID hits or a broken leg or a car accident or a health issue, what's your game plan?
Right.
Financially. But it's really a mindset. It's really a belief system. And unfortunately, what I've seen over nearly 40 years, myself here, is that people are struggling financially, not because they don't have the resources, they have a poor relationship with success and money.
And that goes back to that mindset thing.
They don't believe they're capable of it. The math always works if you work the math, but it really is a belief system. And I help people reposition their thinking, because somebody that's succeeding at any level in any area of life has a different mindset.
Right.
And in my coaching, what I've come to learn, and my story, if you go to my website, you'll be able to hear my story. I won't get into that today, and how coaching has really reframed how I operate. But success is a journey. And, you asked me a question in the prelude here is, what's the definition of success? It is a progressive, this is Earl Nightingale, it's a progressive realization of a worthy ideal or an idea, a purpose.
Right.
And so I just want to segment, if you don't mind, Mark, is that success in anything financially is not a goal. It's part of what I call a vision.
Right.
is an outcome of the future, how you see it before you obtain it. Okay. That's vision. When I coach people, people have goals. Goals don't work in the long run. They're short term. One obstacle gets in the way. One or two things is going to happen. Somebody's going to drop the goal totally, or they will settle for less. And most people are settling for less because they don't have a clear vision of their life, their purpose, and their why. When you get clear on that, everything else starts aligning in that area. So, what's my definition of success? It's progressive realization of a worthy ideal, your why. And then I'll just make another comment here. Sandy Gallagher, Bob Proctor's partner, is if you have a goal or a dream or that vision you're going after, that's the target, but success is measured who you become along the way. Because to get there, you have to change internally. Because like Einstein says, all your collective thinking and experiences got you to where you're at today, but it will not take you to a place you've never been. So you have to have a different mindset. And that is through coaching. That is plugging into people that have been down that path before and plugging into it. So I hope that answered your question there, Mark.
Well, no, that's a great point. And I think someone else is it Robert again? Okay. He says, okay, here we go. He says, I'm back with a new keyboard with brown optical switches just in time for editing the rough draft of the book. Okay, cool. He's been talking about doing this. So that's great, Robert. So with that, Tom, when you're talking about mindset, some people like don't agree with you, and there are those that say, oh, it's easy for you to say you have money, but anybody I've ever studied or looked at, they all go through these things called struggles, trials and tribulations. And one of the people you and I both know real well, or we know, is Ken Walls. And if you haven't read his book, read it. But that guy went through a lot of trials and tribulations, man. He knows what it's like to be broke. He knows what it's like to be homeless. That's hard to believe now today. And I went through some similar things. But so you answered how you define success. But let me ask you this, since you're talking about coaching, I wanted to get into this G-force. What can we expect from that? Like, this is going to be like 1 p.m. Is it Central Time? And is it going to be every Friday? What elaborate on that?
G-force. And there's a story behind. I'm going to hold that story a little bit, but
okay.
The G-force, I'll share a little bit here just so that people understand it. When we're influenced by people in life. And when I had my financial services company in California, my partner, the very first person I brought into business, real estate broker, we became best of friends, best business partners. And he used to call me Ginn Man.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, Rick, he's passed now. So, this is in honor of Rick Waymeyer. And he says, Ginn Man. He says, you got to talk to the Ginn Man. And I said, Mark, Rick, I said, and he says, well, I'll just call you the G-Man. And, I took that on as an honor, but the G stands for Ginn, my last name. So that's sort of how it started. But in my philosophy of life, the G is really, the G-force is gratitude.
Okay.
Gratitude. Because understanding the power of gratitude, that's a force that will overcome every obstacle that you have. Being grateful even when you're in trials and tribulation. Because if we don't have gratitude, we can't see a positive, hopeful outcome. So G-force is going to be all about gratitude in the right mindset. So
that sounds great. That is tremendous. That sounds fantastic. So let me ask you this, Tom. What do you do to prepare day in and day out? Like George Allen had a quote, and I kind of coined it, kind of modified it, but his quote was, is what I'm about to do today getting me closer to my objective? Of course, he was an NFL coach, ... winning. So I always like to ask people, what do you do to prepare yourself, Tom Ginn, to win day in and day out? What do you do? Like, do you read? Do you write? Do you, exercise? I'm just curious.
The exercise one, that's something I'm still working on. What do I do? It really goes back to it's a discipline, and it's tied with the vision. It's tied with my future outcome. Things I do, I've eliminated things that are called distractions that don't support my vision. And so my routine starts when I wake up. I get up. I'm not one of these say, snooze in. When I wake up, I get be 4 o'clock in the morning. It'd be 3 o'clock, and I get up, and then I take some quiet time. And I reflect on positive. Where am I today? Be grateful for what I have today. I do some reading, all positive stuff. I spend some time with my wife and some things. And then I roll my sleeves up because now I'm focused with a clear intention of what I want to accomplish in relationship to the vision of my life. Everything I do is in total relationship to that.
Cool. I got to share this. Robert said this is a very powerful G. So you got Gassert and Ginn doing this thing, kind of interesting. Okay, Robert, I get it. So with that, Tom, when you're talking about mindset and money, and what do you think today, if you could go back and see yourself at 2021, what would you tell yourself about revenue streams? Now, I've got an older son that's getting ready to take on a position with a big accounting firm, and they're going to pay him a few pennies. But with that, constantly remind him about don't just rely on one revenue stream. What do you think about that? Some people will beg to differ with me. Others will say, yes, you should do it because particularly what's happening in our world right now through COVID. So what do you think?
That's a good point, Mark. Is we have to look at the upside, but we also have to look, like any corporation has a disaster plan. What is your disaster plan? And most people don't have one. They don't have enough capital reserves or emergency funds.
Right.
They're relying on one source of income. And if something happens, COVID's a good example. But multiple streams of income is very important. When you look at success, and success leaves clues. When you see it, money is not the most important thing, but it is the most important thing at the end of the month, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely it is.
Money affords us to do what we really dream to doing, not just to put a roof over our head and take care of the necessities. Right. We have other visions that we want to do with our money. But when success leaves clues, with those that are succeeding at the highest level economically, they don't have one source of income. They don't have one. When you look at very successful people financially, they have the average is 5 sources of income. And people say, how do you do that? It's a mindset. I know one of my colleagues in the coaching has 15 companies he runs. How does he do that? Right. He has more time and freedom than I do, and I'm only running 4 different companies.
And that's a great point. There are monster mashes like Grant Cardone, like guys like that, and they really intrigue me. And they just have that mindset, man. That's the thing, they are not like fearful. They just go out and go for it and do it, and they don't worry about. I think the thing is too, Tom, and I want to elaborate on this a little bit. Worrying what others think. I got over that a long time ago. I checked my ego at the door a long time ago. I don't care. I mean, because nothing personal. I know my friends and even my family mean well, but they're not paying the bills. I mean, so, and you're not going to define what I want to do and how I want to live. But we allow sometimes people to do that to us.
Yeah, that's part of the condition of being a human, and we're influenced. Our self-image is we want to be, our self-image is we're trying to live our life to other people's expectations. And that moves into a place of what I call comparing. You can't compare what you're doing against somebody else at this station in life. But that's the most important thing is each one of us has tremendous potential and genius. Mm-hmm. And we get into think, I can't do that because I'm not as good looking as Mark. Or I don't have the education as somebody else. We start comparing stuff, and that is limiting thinking. We're worried about lack. See, when I talk about profits, it's not just what's in the bank account. What's the profits? The thinking, the what would you call the assets is your thoughts.
Right.
Thoughts are your profits. It is not just the bank account. It's the quality of life. Are you influencing other people? Are you making a contribution to the world?
Sure.
That's profit.
That's
profit. Abundance.
That's some heavy stuff. And I guess when people get in a situation like right now, have you noticed a change like what's taken place? Pre-COVID, COVID, now we're kind of out of it. So have you seen any differences out there?
The underlying cause for people to be stuck and not moving forward in life is fear.
Okay.
We just now see it more accentuated because there's some reality things that are highlighting that. And it's fear is the number one cause of people to be stuck. Robert's got a great quote. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I'm going to read this. It took me until age 42, Robert, you don't mind if I share this because I'm reading it, to realize it wasn't my business what others thought of me and that I no longer cared. It was very freeing. I did require meds for that. I became an unflappable cat. Oh, wow. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, and then he goes, one unflappable cat, that is. Yeah, and that's a great point.
Hey, yo, I'm just going to say something to Robert there. It's, what we think people are thinking about us, and they don't. They think about themselves. Has nothing to do with you. Who cares? Yeah. Like Ken Wall says, what's holding you back?
Yep.
Don't care what other people think of you.
Right.
You're not hurting people, and you're not abusive, and you're coming from a space of love and gratitude and all that. If you're living your place from that space, who cares what people think of you?
Right.
I don't care.
Right. And
I used to. It held me back.
Yeah, that is so true. Which leads me to my next point here. So we're going to get into it, and this will be the touchy thing that Ken talked about. Oh yeah, indeed, he says. Good point there. He likes it. So what we're doing right now. Oh, there he's drinking out of that cup.
Thanks, Ken. I was so pumped today. I hope you see this, buddy. When you asked me for my address on the phone, I had no idea. And I got home after I did a talk today at a business group, and I was flying high. And I got this, man. It just got me even at a higher level. So thanks, Ken. You're awesome.
You are, Ken, and I'm sorry to say I ate both the brownies. I'm sorry. I now have to do more work.
And the card. I'm going to claim the card. Seriously. Yeah. It's important to understand he is a place of gratitude, and he gives. He gives. And that's a role model I want to model myself after, because when we give, we receive. We got to be able, we have to also be able to receive it.
Right.
Before we give it. So, and I appreciate you, my friend. I'm just getting to know you.
And the thing about Ken, like you mentioned about worrying what other people think. So here I got involved in this thing, like, I think it was like February, then COVID hit. And then I really started getting into it. And I'm like, hey man, I'm going to learn a new skill. I've never live streamed. I've never done this. I started taking his program, his platform, and it's, elevated for someone of my stature, my IQ level. And he's got all these great tutorials. There's 106, video out there, which I went through them, but I still got to go back and reference things because there's a lot to digest on his program. And he constantly challenges you, and it's in a good way. And I can truthfully say this, Ken wants us all to go out there and kick butt and take names on this platform. I mean, and there should be more of us that are doing what we're doing. There is, but they ought to be doing it through his platform, the way he teaches it. I guess that's the difference, is where I'm coming from.
You know, it's believable. If Ken can do it, I can do it, right? I mean, that's what he would say. If I
Right.
can, you can do it. What's holding you back? And and I love this philosophy I learned from John Maxwell. Leap and grow wings on the way down. Don't worry about trying to figure it out beforehand. That's the only way
Right.
you grow. That's it. Just do it. I was terrified to do this,
Right.
doing my little live streams. Can I see the chat and can I do the
Do you
thing?
remember the first one you did? I thought you did a lot better than me, man, because I kind of like did my live stream within the cocoon of the Facebook group that's within, Grow Live Academy. I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm ready for this getting out there. And Ken said, hey, man, the only way you're going to get it is just do it. Just go
Yeah,
out there and do it. But I remember the first one I ever did. I'm like, hi, my name's Mark Gassard. I live in Peachtree Corner, and, introduced myself to everybody. Glad to be a member, blah, blah, blah. And now I've become this maniac. Somebody told me, like, what in God's name has happened to you? And I don't know, just doing this platform and being around people like you, like Ken, I mean, geez, you could go on and on. The people that are involved with this program. Who's the other guy I'm thinking of? Joe Soto, Scott McCain. He's tied into like uh, Grant. I mean,
Gary Gideon, lots
yeah,
of
yeah. I mean, and there's just so many good people out there. Doug Wing, Little Giant, the man himself, he doesn't have to do this. I think it's cool that he is doing it. When I say that, he could choose to retire from life if he wanted to, but that would be kind of boring. And that just shows you the caliber of person that he is. And it's really neat. You got people from all different social economic backgrounds, ethnicities, and that's what's cool about it. And that to me, that's how you learn. I just keep my mouth shut and, listen to all these other great people out there.
Well, Mark, you're doing great, man. I tell you, when we connected, we won't get into that story tonight. We'll do that at another time. But
Sure.
in our association and relationship that's developing here as friends, as I consider that right now, and as business colleagues moving forward and some things. So, but you're doing an awesome job, man.
Well, thank you.
You're doing
Thank
awesome.
you. And Kirk Smith, if you're out there listening, I think maybe next week we're going to pick up with Maestro too. I'd like to get him back. And that's no slight towards you, Tom. I promised him I'd do that. But um, my next question is, why did you get involved with the Grow Live Academy? How did you get there? How did you know about it? What made you do it? Uh-oh. Oh my God. Newsflash. There he
Hey,
is.
Ken Wall. Oh
We've been,
no.
we've been, we've been talking about you. We've been talking about you, Ken. I'm sorry. He shared with us his gift that you gave him.
Hey,
I
Ken.
told him I ate your brownies. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Hey,
there it
man.
is.
I gave a speech today at a business luncheon, and I was stoked. I was client. I got home, and then in my foyer was that box, and I got your card. I'm going to frame it, my friend, because you're an inspirer.
Yeah.
I don't need to eat these, but I am.
Yeah, I
But
already did, Ken. So I'm in trouble.
hey, thanks, Ken, with my heart. Okay.
And I got to go up here and share this. Ken, since he popped on here, I just think it's kind of ironic that he showed up. But there it is, and there's that live stream ideas. All I'm going to do and say here is that's a free document, a free ebook. I mean, that's what you were talking about giving. He gives, and like I remember when it came out, he goes, "Hey, Mark, did you check?" The Facebook group, man, did you download that yet? And I was like, well, no, I just saw it last night. Well, man, download it. It's free. And, every time I turn around, there's something new coming down the choo-choo track that, Mr. Walls and his wisdom that he bestows upon us. Mark, didn't you get the mug too? Oh, yes, it's back there. I did. And I use it, sir. I did get the mug. I use it. But yeah, I have to. Look, there he goes, man. There he goes. There goes Ken. And I'm going to tell you something real quick. I'm going to take my eyes off me and Tom for a second. If anything, this will help you become a better person in dealing with other individuals, whether it's on the telephone, face to face when you get there. Because looking at that proverbial camera, and Mr. Walls will tell you this, thank you, Ken, that you need to engage. And this is a great way to engage with people. I didn't think so, but I always often say this, and Mark Rodriguez, I know I've overused it, but he coined the phrase live streaming is public speaking on steroids. It truly is. And I really believe that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Once my income increases, I'll be making arrangements to be part of that club too. That's great, Robert. Awesome. Because there's some really neat people. So with that, I have to ask you this. You know, we talked about Grow Live and what's happening with that and why you got involved. So tell me, Tom, I like baseball. I asked this question. Ken has his version of it. What was your 3-2 count in life, that moment when you said, hey, man, look at this. Okay, I'll put it up there. Grow Live Coaching. See, now this is the thing. Hey, Ken, can I get the ARP discount? I'm kidding. But here's another thing Ken's doing. Grow Live Coaching. It's 347 down, and then it's 77 a month.
Oh, wow.
Give me a break.
No way.
347 down, 77 a month. And you get to deal with Ken. That's a good thing. And then his association with other successful people he's bringing in, because we're getting ready to finish this thing up. And we're actually going to hop over here and get some more tutelage from the master of the live stream. I'll bow, Ken Walls. And, I'm not sorry I did this, but what's Robert got to say? My budget is ultralight. I cut it to the bone to get a car again. Okay. All right. Yes, we heard. I have a huge celebrity on tonight to speak to everyone. I cannot wait, sir. But what I was going to ask you, Tom, thank you so much, Ken, for hopping on. I really appreciate you. I want you to know that. And brother, man, if there's anything I can ever do to help you, I will, because you've helped me a lot just with this program. And things are looking up and up here for Mark. He says, I'm in the meeting of 8:05 Eastern. Don't be late. Okay, man. See, he's always pushing you. So what was your 3-2 moment in life, Tom, when you said, hey, enough's enough. I want to do what I want to do. I don't want to say the bad word, but the heck with everybody else. And, I know what I want to do now.
I just made a decision and I jumped, just like getting on here. Your 3-2 count, you got to make are you swinging or not swinging, man? Are you going to go? Are you going to get struck out or are you going to walk? I'd rather be swinging for the fence, man. So I made a decision. Everything starts with a decision.
Right.
And there's the 2 decisions you make have an outcome all the time. So I just made a decision. I was going to change my life. And I jumped and I'm growing wings on the way down. That's what it's all about.
Oh, cool. Robert said he's on a reduced pension and just got the annual cost of living increase. Okay, cool. Well, that's a great point. And I think everybody has that moment in their life where they say, you know what, this is it. I'm going to do this. And he keeps coming. My decision was made when I decided I needed a car. Okay, gotcha. And I guess for me, that's cool.
Hey, Robert, I'd be glad to talk to you about that. There's only 2 ways that you change your behavior is a sudden emotional need. Okay. And the other one is a different mindset. Okay. We can talk all day about that.
Very cool. And I think with all of us, Tom, you just brought up a great point there. I just want to elaborate on that. And I think there comes a point where you just say, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. You make the decision. And I know I never thought I'd be doing this and doing it every day. And I know people probably go, oh my God, not him again. But it's just something I want to do and get better at and master it. And I'm just going to let it rip and have fun during the process. As they say, the juice is worth the squeeze, and why not? And why not me? Everyone else is out here, so we're not a bunch of young bloods out here doing this, but there are a lot of younger people doing it, and that's cool. I tried without for a year. Okay, cool. Robert, you are something else, man. You just keep the mindset of going for it is now and in place. And I think it's now is the time, and now's a great time. But everybody uses something as an excuse, and that's why I asked you that earlier, Tom. Like now it's COVID, so when COVID's over, it'll be something else.
Yeah, that goes to good point, Mark. Can I
sure, go right ahead.
Opportunities around us all the time. It's just through our awareness. If you have a clear goal and vision in life, the opportunities arise. And here's the key. You can't sit back and think about it. You've got to grab the opportunity and move. You can't say, am I smart enough? I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have this, that. Move, baby, move. When opportunities, right now, there's opportunities around us, but right. Most people are afraid to move. So,
and with that, yeah, look at that. He's still, I thought you were leaving us, Ken. He said, amen. And with that, I think you kind of closed the door on tonight's session. I'd love to have you back, and maybe we can talk more about G-Force. And, would love to talk to you more about that and that particular platform, what you're going to do with it, where it's going to go. I just see great things. And Ken, we're a bunch of young bloods here on the air tonight. We're both 25. And so, that's the other thing, age, not enough money, I'm not good enough, all that crap. And, I just flushed it a long time ago. You can't worry what others think. You just got to go for it because, there is only one life you get on this earth. So you might as well just do what you really want to do and be done with it.
And don't leave this earth with regrets.
Yeah, give it all you got. Two amazing dudes on here. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken. And with that, I am going to say thank you, Tom. It has been a plum pleasing pleasure to have you on here with your knowledge, your tutelage, your scope of mindset, finances. I can't wait to hear more from you. As always, on Mark's message, it is the peachiest place on the planet. Trust me, everybody. And you know what I'm going to do? Everybody's going to laugh at me, but I didn't give my shout out. So the Grow Live Nation, hello, hello. Thank you for being here, as well as the emerging sales winners, the Mega Mind Group, the diehards. When you're listening to this, and he's showing his mug. Indeed, both are amazing. Well, thank you. And you know what I'm going to say, Robert? I'm going to tell everybody, he and Tom brought it up. So we have to get our approach in his batter's box because everybody, if we keep swinging for the fences together, we're going to knock it out of the park. I'm going to say good evening. Tom, thank you so much again on Mark's message. Peachtree Corners, the peachiest place on the planet. I'll put in your last comment. My pleasantly plump fingers added an extra input again. Great. I appreciate it, Robert. And he said, thank you, Mark and Tom and Ken, as always. Yes. And guys, tomorrow is Friday, so it will be Freeform Friday tomorrow for me. So hop on board and we'll do some crazy stuff together. With that,
1 p.m. Central, G-Force.
You got it. Go to Tom's platform every Friday, 1 p.m. Central. So have a blast with Tom. And there's a whole bunch of other neat people out there on the Grow Live Academy, and you will find out, if you don't, who we are and what we're about. With that, I'm going to say adios. Talk to you tomorrow. Continue knocking it out of the park, everybody. Bye.